Have you ever thought about what it's like to be a bee? Flying around, seeing flowers up close, taking the sweet-tasting nectar with a long straw-like tongue called a proboscis, which slides into the flower where you can then extract the nectar out, and even getting pollen stuck to you. Bees are not only one of our major pollinators, they play an important role in the ecosystem. Without bees, you wouldn't be able to eat your favorite fruits or vegetables. Personally, I like apples. The bee also supports growth of flowers, trees, and many other plants by pollinating them. This is a critical process that allows the plants to reproduce and produce seeds. The process of pollination happens when the pollen grains from the male reproductive part of a flower, the anther, is transferred to the female reproductive part of another flower, the stigma. The fertilized flowers will now be able to produce seeds, which allow the plant to reproduce and/or form fruit. In turn, the grown plants either provide food or shelter to other animals. Honeybees contribute to making a thriving and complex ecosystem for other organisms. Despite how great the honeybee is, the species has been in decline for more than 3 decades in the United States. These important pollinators perform around 80% of pollination worldwide, yet the number of honeybee colonies have collapsed by 40% from spring 2017 to 2018. The EPA, United States Environmental Protection Agency, defines colony collapse disorder as a, quote, phenomenon that occurs when the majority of worker bees in a colony disappear and leave behind a queen, plenty of food, and a few nurse bees to care for the remaining immature bees and the queen, end quote. Hives cannot sustain themselves without worker bees. Neonicotinoids, or more commonly known as neonics, are one of the main perpetrators for colony collapse disorder. Besides making bees more vulnerable to diseases, neonics affect the bee's biology by damaging its flight ability, learning and memory ability, and body/colony temperature regulation. Neonics are found in pesticides and herbicides, and are used by people who are looking for a quick fix to not having any weeds in their lawn, to farmers trying to keep bees, bugs, and weeds off their crops. A large majority of people use neonics and don't even know it. After looking at how low doses of the neonics in pentachloroprid and clothianidin affect formerly healthy bee hives over the course of a winter, researchers at Harvard concluded that neonics are likely the main culprit of colony collapse disorder. Farmers often spray their crops with pesticides that have traces of neonics in them. The neonics are absorbed into the plant and can end up in the pollen or nectar of that plant, making it toxic to bees. These chemicals are extremely dangerous and will harm the bees' ability to navigate, forage, and reproduce. Bees are in a dire situation, and it's our responsibility to help them. Supporting petitions to ban neonics and keep bees healthy by signing them can be helpful. Signing them can show lawmakers that a lot of people care about a cause and want to see change. One that you can sign is a petition found in change.org and is also found in my slideshow. A specific group that you can help support is the Pesticide Action Network. Donating to the Pesticide Action Network is helpful because this organization is both putting pressure on the lawmakers to take bee-harming pesticides off the market and urging the U.S. Department of Agriculture to increase pesticide-free pollinator habitat. You, as an individual, can make change in your day-to-day life by buying more items with the USDA organic label. USDA organic foods are not allowed to be grown with synthetic pesticides like neonics. Foods that are most free with pesticides are strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes. These fruits and vegetables are called the Dirty Dozen because they are the most sprayed with pesticides. By buying these fruits and vegetables organic, it can be a much healthier change and help bees. Let's think back to being a bee, doing all the hard work of pollinating food and collecting nectar to turn into honey. They help us with pollinating our produce. It is our job to help them in return. We need to protect our pollinators before it's too late.